Hello.
Hi, Anna.
We are not live. We
No,
are alive, but we're recording.
yeah.
I
Wednesday before
messed
Thanksgiving.
up.
Well, it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so we thought we'd give ourselves a bit of a break in one arena because we'll be working in another, getting ready for family and friends, and it kind of ties right into what we're talking about today, which is family caregiving, being a family caregiver. This is Family Caregivers Month, and I think it is appropriate to have it in the month of November because we should be really thankful for those who are giving of themselves, oftentimes in an unpaid, usually unrecognized, in an unrecognized way. And so, in this month, we would like to recognize those who give back to their family, give back to their sometimes friends, and just network of those that they know in a very personal and I know very needed way.
I'm trying to, I try to separate out money a lot of times when I think of things like this because it just doesn't seem like it overlaps. But I think it is an attention getting thing. I saw the statistic that the value of the services family caregivers provide for free when caring for older adults is estimated to be 375 billion a year. And I don't know if that number includes caregiving for children. This is specifically for older adults.
Yeah, and the prevalence of the need for family caregivers just continues to increase. It's risen from 16.6% in 2015 to 19.2% in 2020. So that is an increase of over 80 million adults who are providing care for a family member. And also, I say friends because, many of us consider close friends as family members, neighbors, and those in the community. And many of these caregivers still work, still have jobs because they have to have some income. 61% still go out and work, but are still giving almost full time family care. And so that unpaid portion really, or that unpaid part must really be considered because these family caregivers are integral members or integral parts of that family member's healthcare team. They are integral parts of our community as a whole, especially the healthcare community. Um,
Mhm,
so they should feel supported. Many do say that they feel stress or anxiety because of that financial issue that you were just talking about, it being an unpaid service. But they should be supported not only by the community at large or the healthcare community, but even our government should really seek ways and supporting those who give to
mhm,
their family members in such a way.
mhm. So I saw that 66% of these caregivers are women.
Hmm.
And I also saw that a lot of times that can have a negative impact on your own health. When I
Hmm.
think about times where I've not been able to, especially during COVID, when you're not allowed to bring someone with you to a doctor's appointment
Hmm.
for good reason, but then it maybe changes your ability to get those routine checks for yourself. And then so a lot of times those caregivers can experience a health decline themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a study that says that since 2020, the rate of caregivers who they themselves report having poorer health has done nothing but increase. And we have to remember that these caregivers are of all ethnicities, all ages. And so you oftentimes see uh,
Mhm,
um, older adults helping to care for older adults, for their own contemporaries. And so, yeah,
mhm,
the health of those who are giving care really needs to also be considered. Because if they're not doing well themselves, how are they going to be able to care for those around them?
mhm. Yeah, and I mean, even younger people too, caring for elders in their family or in their community while they're still in school or trying to work jobs as well. And so I'm going to post this resource that we found, caregiveraction.org, which has a lot of resources. And while I was cruising through the site, a little thing popped up with someone there to chat. So it's just a really accessible site for resources. If you are a caregiver or know a caregiver that you want to share some resources with, they have specific help for cancer caregivers, rare disease caregivers, and assisting caregiving employees.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it's a great resource to use.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that statistic that, or that, what you just brought up about students being caregivers, younger people being caregivers.
Mhm.
In a family of caregivers, you may have a now older child or an adult child who's caring for their aging parent or grandparent, but oftentimes the younger generation in that home, the children are also acting as caregivers. Many adults who say they give a percentage of their time of care to a family member or friend, so that they have children in their home that are helping them. And so it becomes a family, um, um, something that the family has to do together. I think in this country, many people, because of the way that they were brought up, feel that it isn't that necessary to work in that capacity for a family member or a friend that needs the help. But
Mhm.
again, the point of this month is not just recognizing uh, that that's something you do for family or something you do for friends, but recognizing that we should be supporting those who help, who have family or friends live in their home, who go and help family and friends who are living elsewhere do their weekly shopping or weekly cleaning. Those are also things that are considered to be a part of the task that a family caregiver does. So it doesn't have to be just that you keep that person in your home or you're caring for someone in your home or their home. Just the act of helping them do chores or fix things around the house, that is a form of giving back. And so we should be supporting uh, those who do that.
Hmm. There's a tendency to kind of think about when you see a headline that says, oh, these are family caregivers and how much they've got on their plate and how much they're risking their own health by doing that. But on the other hand, it's um, it's a shame to me that this isn't a more celebrated
Mm-hmm.
topic, and
Mm-hmm.
because that is what creates community, that
Exactly.
tie, that care for one another, though we're thinking specifically around how to make sure that if you're a caregiver, you're taking care of yourself and
Mm-hmm.
going to your appointments and all that stuff, but like that can be life-giving, and that I
Yeah.
hope that that's a part of what my children experience at some point too, that caring for others when they need it.
And I'm so glad you bring that up. 51% of those who give care say that it gives them a sense of purpose, and they do have positive feelings and emotions that surround that. And just like you're saying, it is a sense of community. It gives a sense of family, and again, a sense of purpose. You're paying it forward in a way to speak. But that, like we were saying, can coexist with also these feelings of strain, and these feelings of stress. And so we should encourage those that are giving to others to remember, hey, yeah, you need to take care of yourself too. And it's okay to feel stress. It's okay to feel that strain. And there should be avenues in which they can express that and also feel supported.
So do you think we should flash lightning round each other? What's the greatest stress in our weekly caregiving? What's the greatest joy in our weekly caregiving? And then make a pledge, one thing we're going to do for ourselves as caregivers in the
Yeah.
next week, or for a caregiver we know.
Yeah. Okay. Um, Okay, so I'll go first if that's okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
So, probably the weekly strain or stress for me is just trying to make sure I get it all in,
Mhm.
make sure that I get everything taken care of,
Mhm.
because I have other responsibilities too outside of those that I care for. But I definitely do not want them to ever feel shortchanged because of everything else I do. And so, just making sure that all their needs are met, all their I's dotted, T's are crossed. That's
Mhm.
probably my biggest strain for the week.
Mhm.
Um, my biggest, you said pleasure. That's the second one.
Joy, greatest joy in caregiving.
Greatest joy in caregiving is seeing the person that I'm caring for be happy, and be content, and have pleasure. That is my joy. My joy is in seeing them happy, um, and seeing them feel loved by me being able to pay attention and me being able to do those things for them. That's my
Mhm.
biggest joy. I think, for me, the thing that I need to pledge to myself is, not to take myself out of the equation. Oftentimes I will, um, let's say, even with cooking, I will cook enough for everyone else, not for me. I will portion out enough for everyone else and not have enough for myself to eat.
Uh-huh.
And I always think that I'll eat whatever, whatever is left. But putting myself into the equation
Mm.
of what needs to get done in that week and in that day and in that moment, I think, um, that's going to be my pledge for myself.
That'll be easier because we've got a big meal coming up tomorrow. So hopefully you will get a portion.
Ah,
I do the same thing with food. When I think through what my kids are eating, I know that my family is eating healthily. That's a very lucky thing to be able to say and think through. And I put a lot of effort into meal planning for them. But
mhm.
if I were to do an assessment of what I actually eat, it's not as good. My menu is a lot more filled with garbage than theirs is, because I've got to be eating on the run, or if I'm not serving them, then I forget to eat or whatever. So yeah, that's definitely a part of it. I'd
Mhm.
say my biggest challenge, and I'm right now mainly just family caregiving for children, not older adults. So it's but as we approach that time with our parents where I'm raising my children, but then I'm also getting a mirror of myself and
Mhm.
I want my behavior to be what they should model after, and it's not always that way. It's a real look in the mirror. So the challenge for me, the biggest stressor is not to say no whining, no yelling, and then to turn around and then comply, not
Mhm.
to whine and not to yell. Um, Greatest joy is to get to be here for that experience when I can zoom out to get to have been there through the highs and lows of all the different parts of the day. In the thick of it, it's the days are long, but the years are short kind of thing.
Mhm.
When the
Mhm.
day is over, the moment I've put them to bed, and then I pull up my phone and start looking at pictures of them, and I miss them terribly. When all day I've been just waiting for that moment where I can have peace. Let's see. You're going to put yourself in the equation this week. I'm going to allow myself time to slow down and let the laundry pile and let the dishes pile, and give the time that I need to them, and not feel torn between the obligations of running things and being present. I'm going to try for that a little bit.
I think that is a wonderful thing to do, and I think we don't do that enough. And all the hecticness, and all the craziness and stress and anxiety that may be provoked from that need and that responsibility, trying to be present in the moment of it and enjoy those things that are enjoyable around you. We don't get really political on this broadcast, and we get really medical, but I do want to say one thing. I think it is really important. We talk about the support, and paid family leave is part of that support, and I think it can, again, family caregivers are in the fabric of America. And the reason America can function in the way it does is because many things in this country continue to go unpaid. They have been unpaid. We talk about how this country was built, and why this country is able to be successful, because it started at a margin that was higher. There was a lot of work that was not paid for, and so let's fast forward that to now. Family uh, caregiving is oftentimes unpaid, and so if it needs to be, paid family leave, then that's necessary, you know. And so
As
I
a
think we have to take it out of the context of what culturally is acceptable, thinking that men should not necessarily be at home because you have the woman at home. It is more than that. It's definitely more than that.
Agree, and as a world leading country, we can look around and we are lagging behind, I think, in that
Yeah.
arena. And
Yeah.
not even politically, but when you think about the fabric of an entire society,
Yeah.
that's really important. I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Anna, thank you. It's
Thank
always good
you.
talking with you.
Thanks for being here and watching with us. And feel free to leave comments because we will check this and we can come back to anything that you want to hear more about. Or if there's any questions that you had, please let us know. Drop us a comment or send us a private message, and we'd be happy to get back to it. And we hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy holidays to everyone. And we also recognize all traditions and all cultures in this during this time.
Yes. Thank you.